guys, this is Melissa from What's Next God podcast, and I have new best friends. This is Fields and Josiah from Southbound Coffee Company. We're making French press.
Yeah.
Show me what we're doing.
So I'm brewing for about 1 liter. So I'm pouring up 50 grams, or 60 grams, excuse me, for our measurement. So we're going to brew a liter of coffee. The technique is super simple, and then we'll be able to talk about the other stuff I was going to talk about while it's sitting here brewing, because we're going to have about 4 minutes while it's brewing to talk and whatever.
4 minutes for French press.
Yep. So what I'm going to do here, I've got 60 grams. I'm going to tare my scale, so we're at 0. I'm going to pour in my hot water. I'm going to pour in my full brew weight, which means I'm going to 1,000 grams.
Okay.
So with a pour over, I did a 1:17 ratio. Every 1 gram of coffee, I have 17 grams of water. With this one, I'm doing a 1:16. I'm going to pour it in as fast as I can. I'm just going to keep trying to get all the grounds wet as we go.
Yeah, the key is to stir the ground bed as much as you can.
Yep, you want to
make
just
sure everything's wet.
Get everything wet. We are basically letting the coffee sit at the top here of the French press. All the sugars, that's why all this is turned brown. Those caramelized sugars that are brown in the roast are now descending down. The acidities, all that heat is expanding the coffee and letting it just flow down into the brew.
Okay.
So as long as it's up here at the top, it's extracting. This will be a much more full-bodied cup. And what's amazing is you have your same coffee that we just did brewed here from the pour over, and you'll get to taste it next to the French press.
Okay.
And you'll see that all the flavors are there, but it's extremely different in that one will be a slightly more bold flavor of the acidity and the vegetative, taste. This one will be a sweeter, richer, textured cup. After my 4 minutes has gone up, I'm going to stir all my coffee. So what has happened was the coffee came to the top and formed a crust with the CO2 gases because it's lighter than the water. Now it's given all that off. I've just stirred it, and you actually saw all the coffee goes to the bottom, right?
Yes.
So now that the coffee's sitting at the bottom, it's not brewing anymore. So this cup will not get any more bitter no matter how long it sits, right? See this foam here at the top? That is just CO2,
that you don't
pure
need.
CO2. Does not taste good. Have you ever had French press and at the bottom of your cup, you have like little sediment and grounds at the bottom of your cup?
Yes.
This is flexible right here, right? So when you're pouring it out, grounds are going to come out. So they get in the bottom of your cup, get a little bit silty. Sometimes you don't want to finish the last sip of your cup because it's like silty and there's like sludge in it, right?
Yes.
So now that we finished the brew, the longer I let this sit, the more that silt is just going to settle to the bottom and form another crust at the bottom and not be in my cup. You let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes and then you come pour it, and your cup will be super clean. There will not be any grounds in the bottom of it. And then you're just going to pour it out.
Okay.
No plunging or pushing on the bottom.
Because why?
Because we've already done our brew. So the brewing's already done. The coffee's settled at the bottom. Love that sound. All right. And just for the sake of it, we'll just leave that in there. And honestly,
you can see some of it start to rise up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Not fully transparent, but fairly clear. Whereas here with your French press, it's going to be a much richer, textured cup.
And it tastes completely different.
Yeah.